Hi, I am Emily.
Hi, I am Denise.
And this is the Interdisciplinary Talks.
Today we're going to interview Dr. José Guimarães.
Hi.
Hello.
Dr. José Guimarães is an environment engineer and a professor at Instituto Federal de Ciência e Tecnologia da Paraíba, Campus Souza. We're very happy that you're here today with us, Professor.
Thanks, I'm also very happy.
So joining us today, we have also our students, Jorge and Leandro.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so let's start. Jorge, you can start. Go ahead.
Profession. What or who inspiring you to study English?
Well, I was thinking about it when this first invitation appeared, and I talked a little bit with my mother and how this grow up, this English, how this will this oh my God, this way to learn English. And it was really my mother and my father that got the time that was the right way that I had English course aside the school. So I really like it because I liked very much to read the comics and some comics from Japan. We say mangas. And in order to read them, I had to go to English sites in the internet that we could read the scans. Yeah, they take the page of the comic, the manga, in Japanese, translate it to English, and then to Portuguese. And I saw, Denise, that some translations in Portuguese was very bad. So I prefer to read in English. So I saw the English in my first days that I was learning a way to keep my pleasure in reading comics. I think that is it.
I have a comment. I will comment that because I also do that. I read my comics that I don't have here in Brazil in the internet, and that's it. I also think that the translation is not so good, but I realize that sometimes they get good, but sometimes they lost the meaning. But it's so good because I learn it so much of my comics because I read them in English and I don't have the fear to develop my reading inside our comic books because it's a wonderful way to believe on that and learn that words in English, and this is a good way to learn English too. Very
Yes.
nice.
Nice. Yes, we who are language teachers, we know that some people, like most people, they learn when they get excited, when they get motivated, and many times what motivates them is something they like a textual genre. In many cases, songs that you listen to, you translate, and then you get to know the meanings, you sing to it, and you practice speaking, singing, and also movies, TV shows that you watch, but also books and comic books, right? And one thing that's very interesting that you two commented is that I prefer to read the English version because I thought that the Portuguese translation was a little bit weak. And I was thinking about that because some people say every translation is a betrayal, right? So the translation of the art like literature is a betrayal. But if you think it's translated from Japanese, but it's the first translation. So English is translated from Japanese, which is the original, so you can trust that translation the most. And then Portuguese is translated from English, then it kind of loses the meaning a little bit because it's the translation of the translation. So it makes perfect sense that you two prefer to read the first translation because it's closer to the real meaning. So it's very interesting.
There is also the time period that I was talking about, that I'm talking about it 20 years ago when I was 15, that the comic business here in Brazil was not so huge. We had some things over there. So the people who really like comics was not professional. It was someone like us here that enjoy, and they were by his own will, his own benefit, without business or money involved. They tried to translate. So it was also some teenagers like me by the time that was translate. So I got this way. I prefer to read it myself already in English. It was until today we have this. We have specific sites that make the translate from Japanese, and we can read there. So for example, Naruto, something like this, I read direct in English instead of buy it in whatever.
It's related to the time. I have this book here. It's a lot of time here. Look at the draw inside of them. It's very old. 20 years ago, we have just DC Comics here in Brazil. And this masterpiece here, it's about 20 years old. So it's only related to that time. We get time to get better.
Because we have so much information in the world in English. To get them translated to Portuguese, it takes time. So if you know the language first, if you invest, if your parents want to invest in you, like Dr. José Guimarães' parents did with him, if they want to invest in you, just, it's a good way to access information first, like to be ahead, right?
Maybe I can also say a little bit more. That is the rock songs that by the time I was kind of addicted to a band called Offspring and another called Pennywise, that I was really curious about the lyrics. So read comics and keep translating my favorite bands, kept me learning English. And in one moment, of course, I entered the university, and studying English was also study, whatever.
These are strategies that you students can take to develop and practice. It's very important to practice English. And now, Professor, we have now Leandro who wants to jump in and ask you a question as well.
Hi, Professor. In what ways does English influence your career?
So, I'm glad about your question, Leandro. So, like Professor Nicole said, I study environmental engineering, and there is this big relation, I could say, between environmental studies in English. Here in Brazil, we are kind of in a lag, could I say that? We are a little bit atrasado. Behind. And in my course, in my university, I started to study the solar cooker. It's a equipment that is called a social technology that is built by cardboard, some reflexive materials, just like the inside of a milk product, the embalagem of a milk product. Even a CD, we can use it to cook with the sun's energy. So by the time I was studying, I realized that there was an international organization of solar cookers. That is this newspaper here that I signed when I was still at university. And the Solar Cookers International, maybe you can see. And here we have the news from all over the world, from people that was and it still is making science with cooking with the sun. So when I started to November 2008. So when I started to study solar cooker, I was a little bit ahead of time by my classmates because I had this good relationship with English, and all the materials was in English. So, Leandro, I could say that without in English, I was not able to study solar cooker 15 years ago. 15? Yes. 2005. 15 years ago. And after, and after was the mastering. I did mastering in the doctorate, no? PhD, I don't know. And I studied a software that we did not have any publication here in Brazil. I studied with SWOT. That was not the police. SWOT as a soil and water assessment tool. It is a hydrologic model that we can realize the behavior of the rain when the rain becomes a river. So with this study, with this luggage, this baggage of English that I had, I could make my scientific initiation and be the professor that I am today.
Yeah, so that you can see how he could get ahead of other people and he could get access to information. This is very important. We're always talking here about how you can get access to information from not only, and we want students to understand that this is not about information from the United States or from England. It's about getting information from the world, all over the world. So as he showed the newspaper, there were people, scientists, developing research on a solar cooker in the world, everywhere in the world, different scientists from different places in the world. So he could, have access to all this information and research through the English language.
In Africa, in Asia, was all here, and I was updated with this news. Then without in English, I would stay a part of it.
He showed Africa and Asia, and I just want to remind you that there are countries in Africa where English is the official language. Okay, so like for example, Nigeria, they speak other languages. It's a multilingual country. However, everybody speaks English because English is one of the official languages. The same thing in Asia with India. We interviewed the dancer Barbara, right, Denise? And she talked about how she traveled so many times to India to know how the dance from there, the cultural dance, and she communicated with English because in India, English is official language. So not only you have access to people who speak English as second language, but you also have access to people who speak English as first language in different parts of the world. And this is important for you to understand that. Don't get caught up in American English, British English. This does not exist. We talk about world Englishes. And here we're speaking Brazilian English, right? Denise and Professor, and the students, of course. We have our accent, and this is okay. This is nice. It marks our identity, and we are very proud of it, right?
I am. I'm just. When I was learning English, I think that I couldn't learn because have this image that there is only English for American, USA, and for British, for England. It does not work like that. I realized that when I have two teachers, two professors, that in my graduation, that they are from India, and they talk just like us. It's so beautiful. It's their way of develop their language, and also there is a official language. Yes, Emily. It's so amazing that that difference that has in our way of speaking English.
Accent doesn't impede you from working wherever you want to work, and he could work outside. I'm pretty sure of it, and we're very lucky to have him here with us in Brazil and in Paraíba, right?
Oh my God! Thanks, thanks. As a matter of fact, I always remember the World Water Congress, or it's Water World Congress, whatever. That was realized in Porto de Galinhas, Pernambuco, and I have this opportunity to make an article, and the article was approved. And there I meet some people from England, Germany, Chile. That I'm still close to these three countries. This friend of mine, Nathanael, it's a monster. He is from England, but worked in India, in Laos, and in Myanmar, the antique Birmania, and we talked a lot. And it was the first time that I really talked to someone native, just like Nathanael. The other was from Germany and Chile. But I was so happy that I was able to communicate and walk around Porto Galinhas and take some beer and and talk about things that I would never talk. I would stay restricted to some other Brazilians, but I was in a place, in a moment that were people everywhere in the world, and I searched to talk with them, and for me it was really incredible this moment, and we are still friends, email friends. I hope one day I could visit them. And in the other side, I made this course, this English course, with a friend of mine, and today he works in a company, a technology company, and he made master and PhD. So one day the company said to him, "Hey, go to Finlandia and work there for 2 months." So he went to Finlandia, all paid, all inclusive, and worked there, learned a lot, and came back to Brazil in a higher ground. Maybe I could say that he took a step closer, a step ahead in the company hierarchy. So that was beautiful for me to see a friend of mine of school living 2 months in Finlandia, and I could just expect that one day I could go there too.
It is important for you to understand that there is a world, there is a market that is not restricted to where you live or to your country. It is a world market that you can jump in, like you can, like his friend, go to Finland or go to India or go to, there are opportunities in the world, but those opportunities are open when you can speak a language that is common for communication, and that language today, the most centralized one is English, so you can grow not only professional, but also personally. You understand that there are so many differences. Through that language, you can understand that, and this is very beautiful.
Oh, sorry. I could say that this moment with this friend of mine, Nathanael, was really beautiful because I was practicing my English that was over there, kept in my head from years ago. And while we were talking, he was listening and he made some mental annotations. And after the talk that I stopped saying, he said, "Oh, may I correct you? May I help you with some corrections?" Of course. So he was very he was very paciente with me, and it was I always think this moment because he was very patient. I really tried a lot to communicate.
I have a comment about the help that the Dr. José Guimarães had from his friend, and I think that is so crucial for us that we are learning every day, every hour about our language, about the language, the foreign language, and Amy does that with me. She is for me just a mentor. It's like a friend. She taught me a lot and teach me every day, and this is help me to get another level, higher, higher, higher. And it is important to me, and it is important for everyone that have the language as a tool, as a way to share information that can use that for good, for help people.
I didn't expect that, but I'm really happy to hear it in depth and very emotional actually. But yes, we are here to help each other and to lift each other up always through language, through everything we can.
I made a 3 months intercambio. I don't know. In Argentina, I lived 3 months there in Mendoza, the wines city, the city of the wines. I don't know. And in a moment, I was trying to learn Spanish by force because I arrived there knowing how to speak buenos dias, buenas tardes, y gracias, y buenas noches, and only. So in a moment, the way that we had me and the Mendocinos in order to communicate in English, it was in the middle way of Portuguese and Spanish. When some doubts arrived, we solved them by English. So even I tried to speak in Spanish, English in a moment was my salvation in order to speak Spanish. I think that's funny.
It's very funny, but I'm laughing a lot because I went through a situation like that too. But it was even crazier because I was in England and I was talking to a person from Portugal. And I was like, are you really speaking Portuguese? Yes, I'm speaking Portuguese from like Camões Portuguese. Oh, I was like, okay, let's switch to English because I don't understand that. So that's interesting. Our students had a problem with the internet, so they had to go. but they were commenting on how inspired they got from this interview. And I'm sure that everybody who's watching now, all our students from EFPB Campus Souza, from the school at City, I think they're very excited, and they're going to invest themselves more in the language, because in each interview we can see, right, Denise, how English is so important in different areas.
And I have to say that it's a pleasure to talk with Dr. José Guimarães, because I admire you a lot. You are a great professional, and I have to say that for you. And it's a huge and amazing and everything this afternoon with you guys. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Hey, multilingual. Yes, thank you very much. And that's it, guys. That's it for today, right? Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Great moment.